In this lecture, we are going to talk about HTTP status code, and we will see some of the important and common status codes and understand their meaning. A status code is kind of an information which is sent by the server to the client, informing the client what has happened with the request, whether the request was successful or the resource which we requested for was not found or there was some internal server error, etc. So in this lecture, let's see some of the important and most common status codes which you might encounter or which you might want to use as a backend developer while sending the response. Keep in mind that all the status codes starting from 100 to 199 are informational in nature. For example, we have the status code 101, which means switching protocol. So, for example, when the request switches from HTTP protocol to HTTPS protocol, the server is going to send this 101 status code. Okay, so this status code is informational in nature. And any status code between 100 to 199 are informational. Then we have status code starting from 200. So all the status code between 200 to 299 indicates successful responses. The status code means that the request was successfully received and it was successfully processed. For example, we have seen this status code 200, which means OK. This status code means that the request was received on the server and it was processed successfully and the request was sent. In the same way, we have the status code 201, which means created. This status code means that the request was received on the server and a new resource is created on the server. This status code is usually sent with the response of the post request or some put requests. Then all the status codes between 300 to 399, they are meant for redirectional messages. For example, we have this status code 302, which means found, and it indicates the redirection from one URL to another URL. For example, let's say in the address bar, we have specified the URL as view-products, but then the redirection happened and the URL redirected to /product/view. Okay, so whenever such kind of redirection happens, the server informs client about that using this 302 status code. So in this example, it simply means that the URL view-products, it was found, but it has been redirected to another URL product/view. Then we have another status code which is 304, which means not modified. So what do we mean by not modified status message? Basically, whenever we make a request to the server is going to send us a response. Let's say it is sending us the HTML response. Okay, now in that HTML response, we are also using static files like images, CSS files, JavaScript files, etc. So what will happen is those files will be downloaded and it will be stored in the browser's cache memory. So next time when we make the request to the same page after some time, the server will send the status code 304 for those image files and CSS files if they are not modified. And usually in most of the cases, the images and CSS files does not get modified. They remains the same. So in that case, if the files are not modified, the server will send this 304 status code to the browser, to the client. And in that case, the browser will see this status code and it will know that these files have not been modified. So instead of downloading these files again from the server, it will simply use them from the browser's cache. Okay, so this is the meaning of this 304 status code, not modified. This status code simply tells the client that the resource which it is trying to request for, it has not been modified on the server and it can be used from the browser's cache memory. Finally, we also have status code starting from 400. So all the status code between 400 to 499 stands for client errors. For example, we have this status code 400, which stands for bad request. This status code indicates that some of the data which is sent as a part of the request are incorrect or some necessary information is not included in the request. So the request is the bad request. For example, let's say you are creating a new user using a registration form and want to save it in the database. For the user, let's say the first name and last name are mandatory. So when the request is sent to the server with the user data to create a new user, and in that user data, let's say last name is missing, then the server will send a 400 status code specifying that the data is not valid and the request cannot be processed and the user cannot be created. Why? Because the user data is missing the last name. So here the request which we are making does not contains the proper request body, and because of that it is a bad request. Then we have another status code 401, which stands for unauthorized. This status code indicates that the user does not have permission to access the resource. In order to access the resource, the user must authenticate himself, and that he can do by logging into the application. Finally, the most important one is the 404 not found. This status code means that the resource that you are requesting for cannot be found on the server. For example, if you have entered an incorrect URL which cannot be found in the application code, you will get this 404 status code in the response. Another example is, let's say you are searching for a product with a given ID, but with that ID there is no product available. In that case also, the server will send you this 404 not found status code. And finally, we also have status code starting from 500, and all the status code between 500 to 599 stands for server errors. All the status code from 400 to 499 are for client errors, and all the status code from 500 to 599 stands for server errors. And the most important server error status code is this 500, which stands for internal server error. You will get this status code in the response if the server has encountered a situation where it does not know how to handle the request. Okay, so these are the most important status codes which is common, and you might have encountered some of them already. And as a backend developer, it's our responsibility to set the proper status code for the response before sending it. If you don't set a status code on the response, by default the status code 200 will be set for the response, which means OK. So let's see how we can set a status code for the response before sending it to the client from our ASP.NET Core application. So here I'm in the ASP.NET Core application. Now here we are defining a route using this map get method. So basically here what we are telling is, whenever a request is made to the root URL, in that case run this function. So this function will be executed only for the request which has been made to root URL. If we make a request to some other URL, in that case this method will not get executed. Basically, this map get function is used to define a route. And we have not talked about route yet, but we are going to talk about routes in great detail in our coming lectures. But instead of using this map get, we can also use another method on this app, which is run. And to this run also, we can pass a callback function. Here, we don't need to specify any path like we are doing for map get. Okay, this function receives the HTTP context object. Let's call it maybe context. And in order to return a response from this run method, on this context object, we need to call this response object, and on that we need to call a method write async. So using this write async method on the response object, we can write something into the response body, and that will be sent as a response, and that will be rendered in the web page. So here, let's say we want to send a response saying that hello from server. Okay. Now this write async is an asynchronous method. So since it is an asynchronous method, it is not going to return us the data immediately. So we need to wait for the data. And for that, we are going to use this await keyword here. And since we are using this await keyword here, we need to make this function as async. So here I'm going to use this async keyword. Alright, so here what will happen is, whenever a request will be made, this callback function will be executed. And this callback function will be executed for each and every request. In case of this map get, the second argument, this callback function, this gets executed only if the request is made to the root URL. But here in case of run method, this callback function will be executed for each request, for each URL which we type in the address bar. Let me show you that. Before that, let me go ahead and let me comment this code. Let's run this program. So here you can see we have this response hello from the server. Now if in the URL I type root URL / home, for that URL also we are going to receive the same response. If I type root URL / products, there also we are going to receive the same response. If I type root URL / contacts, there also we are going to receive the same response. So no matter to which URL, to which resource we are making the request, this callback function is always going to be executed for each request. But when we were using this map get, at that time, this callback function was only getting executed if we are making a request to the root URL, right? All right. Now, what I want is inside this function, I am going to write some if-else statement. But before that, I am going to check what is the path the user has typed in the URL. So for that, if you remember, on the context object, we have the request object, and on the request object, we have this path property, right? So from the path property, we can get what is the path the user has typed in the URL. And now I'm going to write some if-else statement. So here I will check if the path, if it is equal to, let's say, this slash, that means if the user has typed the root URL, or if the path is slash home, in that case, I want to return a response saying that you are in home page. Else if the path, if it is equal to contact, then I want to return the response saying that you are in contact page. Otherwise, I want to return the response saying that the page you are looking for is not found. Okay, so when the user makes a request to the root URL, or if he types root URL slash home, we want to send him to the home page. And in the home page, he should see this response, you are in home page. Otherwise, if the user types root URL slash contact, in that case, we want to send him to the contact page. And in the contact page, he should see this response, you are in contact page. But if the user types some other URL apart from home page or contact page, then he should get the response, the page you are looking for is not found. Okay, and for these two paths, for the slash home and slash contact, so it should be slash contact, I want to set the status code as 200. So on the context object, let's access the response object. Always remember that the status code is set on the response object. Okay, here we have the status code property. So I want to set it to 200. I want to do the same thing in case the user has typed root URL slash contacts. Okay, but if the user has typed some other URL, in that case, I want to set the status code as 404 page not found. Right? So it is our job as a backend developer to decide which status code should we send with the response. Here, since these two paths are defined, this slash home, slash contact, and this root URL, in that case, we are sending some response to the user, to the client. So in that case, the status code should be 200. But if the user has typed some other URL apart from slash home or slash contact or the root URL, in that case, we don't have any response to send to the client. So in that case, we are sending this status code 404. And in the message, we are saying that the page you are looking for is not found. And we have learned that for not found status message, the status code is 404. With this, let's run this application. So here you can see for the root URL, the response is you are in home page. If I type root URL slash home, then also we should see the same response, you are in home page. But if I type root URL slash contact, there we should see you are in contact page. But if I type something else, for example, about, and if I press enter, you see we are getting this error message. The page you are looking for is not found. Also, if I open the developer tool here, let me make the request. Here also you will see the status code as 404. Okay, let me open this request. Okay, and here let's say view source. So in the start line also you will see that the status code is 404 and the status message is not found. But if I type root URL, in that case the status code is 200. Let's click on this view source, and here also in the start line of the response also you can see the status code as 200. Okay. Now you need not to remember all these status codes and what they do, what they mean. You will learn them with experience. You need not to memorize them. Okay. And if you want to learn more about status codes and you want to learn what other status codes are available, you can visit this link. I will share this link with you. And here you can see all the status codes which is available and what they actually do. All right. So this is all from this lecture. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.